Hello viewers, this is Radiolaps and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm just going to be talking about my study experience. So basically, about an hour ago or thereabouts, 45 minutes ago, I just rounded up a 3 hours study session, which is something that I've not done in a long time. I don't think I've ever done that before. So it's like my first time of doing a 3 hour study session, and I made use of 6 textbooks. And I made use of six textbooks. The first being this, the second being this, and the third being this, and the fourth textbook being this, and the fifth textbook being this, and the final textbook being this. So this is the final textbook, and these are the 6 textbooks that I made use of during my study session. In addition, I made use of a couple of equipment as well, including these notebooks right here. So I made use of a couple of notebooks so that probably I can write down my thoughts, do a couple of calculations here and there. And I made use of a mathematical set. So yeah, so this was basically the equipment I used in my study session. So you may be wondering, what do I need 6 textbooks for in a 3 hour study session? So that's what I'm going to be explaining in the next section of this video. So sit back and enjoy it. So welcome back, and like I said in the previous section of this video, I'm going to be explaining in this section what I made use of all these materials for. How was my study arranged? What was my study arrangement? How did I do it? What was the arrangement and all of that? So that's what I'm going to be sharing in this section. So let's look at it this way. I thought of it this way. I have 3 hours. I want to spend 30 minutes on each textbook. 30 minutes on each textbook. So that was my plan. I'm going to spend 30 minutes per textbook. And we have 6 textbooks here. So 30 minutes times 6 textbooks, that's 180 minutes, giving us 3 hours. If you look at it that way. So that gives us 3 hours. And so 30 minutes per textbook. 30 minutes per textbook. Though I already read this textbook to completion back during the holidays before I resumed this final term of school for year 9. I read this textbook already, and I read it to completion. It's an awesome textbook, contains the basics of chemistry, physics, and biology here and there. So this was a nice textbook, but I still need it all the same because I can't remember everything I read in this textbook literally. So I still need to go back to it here and there to remember some things, but the basic things stood out to me. They stayed in my head. So I made use of this textbook, and this textbook, Essential Chemistry here, as you can see, it's quite a thick textbook, as you can see here. It's really bulky, and same thing goes for this physics textbook. So I got these 2. Well, let me not say these 2. These 4. I got these 4 on the same day. I got these 4 textbooks on the same day, and so I got these 4 textbooks on the same day. So as for this textbook, I've already been reading it earlier because I have a target. My target was to make sure that I read this textbook and the other 4 that I just showed you. That was my target. So I'm still on book 1 of my 5 book targets. So this is just book 1, and I've only gotten through like half of this textbook. So very soon I'll be done with this, and I'll do a video on that. So I started with this textbook, obviously, and the first topic I did from this textbook, it took a bit of time because there are just some topics that they are not as easy to grasp as other topics. So you just go over them over and over again, look at it from different perspectives, take a bit of time to just think for a minute about what you just read, or something like that. So that was what I read back here. So when I finished with this, I moved over to physics. I moved over to this physics textbook. I moved over to this physics textbook, and so I moved over to this textbook, and like I said, I used 30 minutes per textbook. So this was the first textbook actually. This was the first textbook I used, and then I moved to this textbook. I read a couple of things here and there, and my major reason for splitting these 6 textbooks into my 3-hour study session was because I didn't just want to use my 3-hour study session to just read one textbook. I want to make sure that I make use of my time to develop on other areas as well. So that was my idea behind splitting out the 3-hour time frame that I had into these 6 textbooks. So I read physics, and after that I moved to biology. Biology is a very interesting topic, a very interesting and broad topic. Very, very nice topic. Very nice subjects rather. So it has a lot of fantastic topics in here, and it elaborates on a lot of the basics. It elaborates on the basics such as invertebrates and all those stuff. So I did biology 30 minutes as obviously expected, and then I did chemistry. Yeah, I did chemistry. So chemistry was next. As you can see, they have a bit of content. They have a bit of, I don't know if you can see this, but they show a bit of the content on the front, so you can see what sections this stuff is divided into, and what the sections are called. So you can look for that in the table of contents and find a way to search for it. So I just, considering that, so I didn't want to like read the same topic that I already read in this chemistry textbook and read the same one back here again. I decided to look for a topic of interest to me and then look at that. And I think that topic was equilibrium. That's a topic that I've wanted to read for a long time. So equilibrium, so chemical equilibrium. I had a look at that, and thankfully I was able to get, and this was the last textbook in my 3-hour session. This was the last textbook in my 3-hour session of studying. This was my last textbook, and like I did for chemistry, I picked a topic of interest from this place. Like I did for chemistry, I picked a topic of interest, and that topic of interest was solar collector. And basically what I read in there was how solar energy is converted to electricity to power different things such as water heater and all those kind of stuff. So overall, reading these textbooks were very, very insightful. So for this one, I didn't really like read it like that. I said I already did the whole textbook to completion. So I just use it to be like a second-hand textbook to back up what I'm reading from any of these textbooks, because this contains physics, chemistry, and biology incorporated. So I decided to just do it like that. And so what's it called? Yeah, that was what it was about. So that's it for this section of how my study was like so far. And the next session is going to be about how did it feel like for me having to do 3-hour study session for the first time. So as you for those textbooks. And this session is going to be about how it felt like to be doing a 3-hour study session for the first time in a long time. So, to be honest, it wasn't easy actually. At first, I wanted to. The first challenge I had was picking where I was going to do the study. At first, I thought of my room, but then it wasn't possible. So then I thought of the living room, but TV noise everywhere, background noise, I couldn't use that place. So I decided to use study. And also I made use of eventually. And like I said, it wasn't that easy. It really stretched me. Because I've not done something like this in a very long time. So it stretched because I actually said it was like a challenge for me to be doing a 3-hour study session, because I have not really studied that long ever in my life. I've not really studied that long at a go. Though I won't say that I completely studied for 3 hours straight, but a rough estimation, I studied nothing less than 2 hours 15 minutes thereabout. So yeah, I was able to do quite. It gave me a very broad understanding of what real studying is like. Gave me a broad understanding of that, how it feels and everything. The way you need to control your time, your information, and the way you distribute your activities. The amount of time you allocate to each activity, such as going through table of contents, studying, marking, different things, taking notes, and all of that. So overall, studying for 3 hours was very, very stretching. It was very, very exciting. And at the end of the day, I was happy that I completed it. So that's it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Share this video with about 3 or 4 of your family members. And please comment on my video so that any comment you have, I can either do a video on it or answer questions here and there. And so that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.